What's up, guys? I am out here with the magnificent Zino 2. You see it right there? Indeed, it's right there. There it is. All right, guys, I'm going to try to fly the magnificent Zino 2 without using the app. We're going to give that a spin to see what that does. So we are going to fire it up and check it out. And we are going to fly it without using the app. You can see right there. Now I'm waiting for the satellites to come in. I just want to see how it acts without using that. Now this is where I flew it yesterday, so this is where it thinks the home point is. Now I really wouldn't recommend doing this unless you were going to the same place you were the last time you did the compass calibration and it knew where your home point was. Well, it thinks that this is the home point because this is exactly where I was yesterday. So if I was to need to hit the return to home, most likely it would come back here. There's a strong possibility. But now if I was up at in Beaver Run or something like that, I don't know if I would hit the return to home, which I might not hear because I never do anyway, but I just don't know if I would do it unless I was in the same spot, you know. I don't know about Hubsans if they have that kind of technology, and a DJI drone I would probably trust it, or the you know, like the one of those drones that has the GPS module in the controller, like the Karma, so you can be in a different spot. The Karma is always just going to come back to the controller because the controller has a GPS module in it along with the quadcopter, so you really don't have to worry about that. So okay, so it says I have the 11 satellites, so I'm going to record some video now, see what that does, if it shows anything on the screen. I don't really see it. Hold on, let me shut that off again. Okay, did it do anything with them lights? Because it shows SD on here flashing all the time, whether the video is recording or not. Let me see if I hit the record button again. Okay, I don't see any changes. So let me just arm it and take off and see what happens. We think we are recording video, just not sure. Now let me see if I hit one of this mode button. Okay, there's a little thing there, so that's sport. There's film, there's normal. Okay, so without the app running, the camera will not tilt. That's not working, the camera tilt. So we're gonna have to see what Chris thinks about that. All right, we got 16 satellites now, so let's go here and take it up a little bit to see if it's range limited at all. Now on the app, I have it set for imperial, not metric. But when you just use the controller, it reverts back to metric. So it's 61 meters up, 64 meters up. So that's 180 feet. So it's not going to be range limited without the app. Because if it was, they would have already had that cut off. When they range limit something, they don't range limit it at 5 miles or, you know, that kind of, they range limit it at like 100 feet or 300 feet or something like that. So most likely it's not range limited without the app. Now, one thing I don't see on here is any direction indicator to let you know where your heading is if you was to lose sight of the quadcopter. Because on the, what was it, Autel X-Star Premium, you don't have to use the app, but on their little screen there's an arrow that gives you your heading, but on this there is not. So you're gonna be forced to use the return to home if you lose sight of your quad. So that's kind of unfortunate. They should at least have that on there. I wonder if they could update that on there. That would be a nice update for them to have a directional arrow on there to let you know what your heading was. Because that's important if you lose sight of the quadcopter. Yeah, you can hit return to home, yeah, but what if it don't work? You know, sometimes things don't work. It steers nice, man. It's flying good. I'm happy so far. It's not wandering around as much at these low altitudes as the original Zino, you know. Doing pretty good. There's the sport mode. Now, okay, so it gives you the meters per second on there. Flying great, man. Handling great. Great stuff, great stuff. Let me go into the film mode. And that's not even 1 meter per second. So that's super slow. Now, I wonder if you can, yeah, change these speeds on the fly. So I got my finger thumb forward on there. We'll hit the other. Yep. Yep. It'll do it. That's the normal mode. Yep. That's working good. Oh, it's flying great, guys. Okay, so wait a minute now. It gives you this heading, this yaw heading. Okay, so I started right here. Let me see. Let's bring this back and check this out to see what this would do. Okay, so I started, would it be here, the yaw. I guess you could go by this to try to bring your this would be kind of like a directional. Okay, so I'm at 177 degrees on the yaw. This is how it was facing when I took off. So say I was all the way out there somewhere, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if my heading was, okay, so that's not what it, wait a minute. Okay, so my heading would be 355 degrees. You can see it here. That would make the heading of the quadcopter coming back to me. So that's how you can read your direction. But you have to pay attention to this and figure this out before you start flying anywhere. You have to take off, find out what your heading is going out, and find out what your heading would be coming back in these degrees right here, and then you would know. That's kind of like your directional arrow. So that's the only thing I can think of, because I don't see the directional arrow on the screen. So that's going to probably be your best bet, is to go with that. And you don't have to be exact, as long as you had it like, so if I'm coming back at 355, but if it was over a little hair, like say at 2 degrees or something, it's going to be in the same general, you're only a few degrees off. So at least would have a chance to get it back into the ballpark there. So yeah, it worked out good. So that's how you would do it. You would just set your heading right there. But now you just gotta remember to do that when you're taking off. See what your heading is when you're taking off. Spin the quadcopter around and see what your heading is going to be when it would be coming back, and just have to remember that stuff. So if you ever lose sight of it, you could bring it back. All right, I'm going to cut the video, even if it even recorded. We don't even know. All right, great. Zino 2 without the app. Flew great, man. I'm happy so far with this thing, I'll tell you that. So far it's flying good. That SEMA, now that's another story, okay? That thing's a pile of junk. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later, man.